All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol NIO, NEO Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back. And let's jump into this chart. So, NEO Inc. has actually had a bullish run within the last couple of weeks and days, right? Within the last 2 weeks and then the last couple of days, we have seen some exponential growth here. But over time, it's been in a bullish run since the middle of the year, all the way till we're at now. We've been seeing how the chart does this sideways movement. After it does a run up, then it runs up again. It does sideways movement, it runs up, sideways movement, ran up, sideways movement, and it ran up. Now, this time, once it hit these new lows, which were actually a little bit of a red flag in the sense of we need to pay close attention to how this is going to behave. Is it going to continue sideways movement? Is it actually just an opportunity to buy at better prices and so forth? It wasn't a red flag like it's looking like it's going to lose all these gains that it just recently gained from way down here of around $26 all the way up to 32, but it was on its way down and it looked like it was about to hit that 50% gain of that distance, and here we saw it at that low of about $30.05. But it actually turned around this week. So that was interesting enough. We were going to monitor this closely, and this sideways movement is one of the shortest sideways movements that we've seen. But one thing I am noticing is that it did run up, it hit new highs, but the volatility was pretty significant. I mean, it almost lost over 50% of those gains, and it only gained that much. It was only that much of a stretch. Then the bulls reappeared and brought this back up, but that volatility of spiking up and spiking back down and now leveling off is not really healthy compared to how NEO has been growing. Now, I'm not saying that NEO is going into bearish direction right away, or this doesn't mean that it won't continue to grow. I'm just stating that you'll have to pay close attention to how this is reacting to know your right entry points and your right exit points depending on how you're trying to play this out. Unless you're a long-term holder and you're just taking advantage of all these discounted prices when they come and they arise, and then go ahead and go from there. But I just want to advise to all investors, pay close attention to these certain cues and how the stock is starting to react, because it's been a very healthy run since this point, right? Way back here around July and the end of May until now that we saw it grow. Since these last couple of growths, they've been great, and the sideways movement lasted for a little bit and ran up, but you can see here this is a lot of volatility. It's not holding up nicely like it has before. I mean, the ups and downs are there, but it also did its work of holding itself up. And that's where I'm looking at this, that it literally jumped up to $34 and some change, and it dropped back down to 31. Like, that's a $3 difference fairly quickly after that bullish run, and almost touching back down here by the distance of about $1, right, from where it ran up. So I'm not saying again that this isn't a bullish chart, that it's not looking healthy, that there's no growth. No, it's been growing. It's been growing significantly and great. I'm just stating that these last couple of weeks, the growth has been bullish, but with some indicators that it's been very volatile, and you'll have to watch this closely, how it's going to react the next coming days and the next coming weeks. I know that there's a lot of volatility overall in the market right now, so this is still great growth for NEO, but I just want to go ahead and let every investor be aware of that and pay close attention to these cues. It's very important to keep that in mind. Let's look at what's important for tomorrow and how this is actually reacting right now, and what is it looking like for the last couple hours of the day. And I want to talk about this a little bit broader as well. So let's go ahead and move our resistance and support to their new location and look at where the 50-day moving average is, and also how this is going to play out depending on what happens, right? So currently we're at 33.22, and right now that's where it's leveled off, and it's give or take between 33.23 and 33.40 and so forth. So that's what it's showing here, based off of what the chart is saying, and you can see it here. It's actually showing itself live right now because there's a couple of minutes for the end of the market. But one of the most important things in these last couple of hours and for the after hours and for tomorrow is breaking through this resistance. This resistance is important because it has been touched twice in the last hour and the bulls have not been able to break through, and that's 33.48. They just almost reached it again, and now it's starting to fall and it's jumping up and down, but 33.48 is super important for the bulls to turn into a support, pull away from it so that they can pull away from the 50-day moving average in an upward direction. So super important for the bulls. Not only that, the bulls need to break through this to continue their momentum because the bears appeared here and brought them pretty close to the 50-day moving average, hitting lows here that our support is actually slightly below it. So for this bullish momentum to continue and pull away from the 50-day moving average, the bulls need to break through this resistance. Now, they just slightly broke through it and touched it up here at 33.50, and it fell again. So the bulls are trying to get there. We're going to see how this plays out after hours, so I would definitely advise you guys to check out the charts and what's going on. And according to what's the highest point that they reached, that could be the new resistance level for tomorrow. But still, 33.48 is super important, and it's a key indicator for the bulls to break through, pull away from, to reach newer highs. Obviously, the highest point that NIO has ever reached in this whole bullish run is 34.94. So anything that breaks above 33.48 is great, but 34.94 is their true resistance level that they want to pull away from to reach new highs and new resistance levels. So that would be the next goal. But before getting there, 33.48 needs to be broken through and turn into a support so that the bulls can continue to work their way up to newer highs and new resistance levels. Obviously, right now, it's at 33.34. They slightly broke through it, but they weren't able to hold up. And we're going to have to see how this plays out the after hours and starting tomorrow. Now, on the other hand, we have what the bears want. The bears want to bring this down and break through the 50-day moving average. Now, the 50-day moving average is 31.80. Super important to keep that in mind. 31.80, I'd write that down. As long as we're above it, the bulls are in control. The moment we're below it, the bears are in control. If the bears are able to break through that, they have reached back into bearish territory and the bulls are losing leverage, and their next goal would be to break through support, the lowest point reached after this bullish run, and also the lowest point reached before this slight recovery of the bulls. And they'll want to break through 31.68. If 31.68 is broken through, it's going to be significant because we are now in bearish territory and the bears are going to try to pull away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction. And their first step to do so is break through it and then break through the support of 31.68 to pull away and confirm that they are gaining leverage and control by bringing this deeper into bearish territory. Now, their next goal after that to definitely pull this away and get it further from the 50-day moving average would be right here at 30.34. But before getting there, I would really advise every investor to pay close attention to how this is reacting if it breaks through the first support here of 31.68. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit that like button to let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.